In this screencast, I'm going to show the basics of theming in Orchard CMS. First, I'm going to install a fresh new copy of Orchard using WebMatrix. This is not the only way you can build an Orchard site, but that's what I'll do in this demo. So let's create a new site called Orchard Theme. Accept this. And the site is downloading and installing. Done. Right, so we can click OK and click on Files to see the files inside of the site. We can run the site and we are going to get the setup screen for it, where we can enter a name for the site, an admin username and a password, and we are just going to take the default parameters for the rest. And there it is, our new website. So we can go to the dashboard for the site now. For the moment it's using the default theme, which is called Theme Machine, which is great for starting and creating a new theme. What we're going to do here is install a theme from the gallery, one of the themes available. The gallery is integrated into the dashboard, so here I chose Contoso and clicked install. And this installed the theme, but it didn't make it the active theme. So we can go to preview to see what the site would look like if we applied this theme. And everything is looks okay, so we can click on apply this theme. And now that's what our site is using, and the theme machine is not being used anymore. So we'll actually disable it. There can be more than one theme active at any one time. That allows for a few scenarios, such as having a mobile theme and a desktop theme active at the same time, and we'll see another scenario for that. So here is our site using Contoso. So let's get back to the dashboard. Now we want to do another thing. We want to create a new theme that derives from this. To do that, we are going to use the code generation module. So that's an extension to Orchard that we can install from the gallery. Alright, let's enable the feature. And code generation is a feature that works with the command line. So we are going to bring up a command line by, well, let's look at the folder in Windows Explorer. Right, there it is. And we can shift right click to get the open command window here menu. And that will open a command line in this directory. Don't be afraid by the command line, it's very, very useful and very handy, and there is really nothing to be scared about. Right, so we can discover what commands are available from that command line by typing help commands. This is giving us the list of commands. Those commands are being provided by the modules that we have installed here, and the module that we just installed, that was code generation, added 4 commands for code generation: CodeGen controller, module, and theme. The one that we're interested in here is CodeGen theme. If we want to get some instructions about the specific CodeGen theme, we can do help CodeGen theme, and we have all the parameters in here. So we are going to do CodeGen theme my theme, and we are going to base that theme on Contoso. That means that we'll be able to override just what we need to and let the rest be handled by Contoso. And there it is, my theme. And for the moment there is nothing in there except for the manifest and a few other files. The manifest is the theme.txt file. It contains some information about the theme, in particular that it derives from Contoso. We can close that. Let's look at the dashboard site. Let's go to themes. and our new theme appears here, my theme. We can set it as the current theme. And this time we are not going to disable our previous theme, which was Contoso, because we still want to be able to revert to it. There is something that we want to fix here, though, which is that this image here is not representative of the appearance of our theme. We would like to use the image for Contoso, so we'll switch back to Web Matrix. And here we are going to copy the theme.png from Contoso into my theme. Copy and replace. And then we can refresh our theme page. And there it is. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do is to modify some styling on this page. So as you can see here, there are a number of elements on this page. You have the main contents and you have 3 widgets on the bottom. And what we want to do is change that frame around the widget and add a frame that is red just for the demo. So let's look for this element using the Firebug equivalent of your browser, whichever browser you're using. They now all have equivalent tools. So here, this little arrow here is going to help us select an element. And this is what we want to select. So I click on that, switch back to the tool here, and we can see that it's an article tag with a number of classes, and the widget-html widget seems to be the class that we are looking for. It seems to be fairly specific to what we're trying to do, which is to change the appearance of all HTML widgets. So we are going to copy 2 things from Contoso in order to be able to override those styles. The layout, which you usually want in any theme. So let's paste the layout here, and we want to copy the style sheet, which is site.css inside of style. Copy and paste in our theme, and now we can modify that file, and the Contoso one is not going to be used anymore because we have our own copy here. So we can add an additional rule here inside of that style sheet. We are going to copy that class. So widget, HTML widget. Let's copy that, put it here, and we are going to specify that as border 1 pixel solid and red. We can save that, switch back to the browser, refresh. And here it is. We have a red border on our widgets. Alright, so that was easy, but we'll want to change maybe more than that in the rendering, and not everything can be done through styling. For all the modifications that are in markup, what you really want to do is modify the templates that render that markup from the underlying model. So for that, we are going to use a module called Designer Tools, and that module contains a feature that is called shape tracing. So we are going to disable the other feature from the module, which is URL alternates, that we don't need for this demo, and just keep shape tracing. And what shape tracing is doing is that it's adding a Firebug-like tool for Orchard, and you have a little icon on the bottom right that you can use to toggle the visibility and the activity of that tool. And here what you can see is the tree of shapes that form that page. In Orchard, everything that gets rendered is a shape, and you have a whole tree of those shapes. And here I selected the shape for the widget here, and it got highlighted and it got deployed in the tree. And you can see that the widget is inside of a zone, and it has some parts, and it's being rendered by a template. And this is the code for the template. It's just outputting the HTML. Same thing here. You're looking at the title, the routable title shape rendering, and it's being rendered behind between H1 tags. And you can look at the body, which is just outputting the HTML. And those are very simple templates, but you can have much more complex ones. All right, so let's look at our widget template. Oh yeah, another thing you need to know is about placement, and that is a third concept. That so styles are determined by CSS. Markup is determined by templates, and placement is determining what goes where. So it's about the order of things and the placement of things. So let's get back to our widget template. As you can see, it's being rendered by the widget.cshtml template. And we don't want to change all widgets. We don't want to change the rendering of all widgets. We only want to change the rendering of some specific widgets. And a good way to do that is to look at the alternates for that shape. And those are alternate templates that you can use to override the default rendering of widgets. You can create your own alternates if you are a developer, but out of the box we ship a few. So you have the base widget.cshtml, then you have widget dash triple first.cshtml, and this one would be used to override the template of all the widgets that are in the triple first zone. Triple first is the name of the zone here. And you have a third one, which is the one that we're interested in, which is the template for HTML widgets. HTML widget is just a type of widget. You can have many different types of widgets. So we'll just hit create, which is a very nice feature of shape tracing that enables me to just create a new template file directly from the UI, and it will just appear here in my views directory. If I refresh it, there it is, widget-html widget.cshtml. It got the template from its parent, but we can modify it, and this will just modify what we need without touching all the other widgets that may be on the page. And there it is, hello world, as we added in the template. So that's nice, but we actually want to display some data additionally. So how do you discover how to drill into the data model and get your data out? So the way to do this is by going into the model tab here, and the model is giving you all the properties, all the hierarchy of properties for the shape. And the model is the shape here, and we can drill into content item, and we can look at, let's say, the different parts that constitute that content item. So here, for example, if you wanted to display the text for the widget, you would go to body part text, and you can see the value next to it. So let's use the content type. So the content type is interesting, and what it gives us on top here of the tool is the code that you need to copy and paste into your template in order to render that. So I'm a widget of type, and this is the code that I copied from the tool. Now if I refresh that, I can see hello world, I'm a widget of type HTML widget. So by drilling into the model using shape tracing, you can display pretty much anything.